Hey, what's up? So, I want to talk to you about something that not a lot of people are willing to speak about. But if you understand this and you can see the reason behind why I'm sharing this, this will unlock a hidden source of motivation that 99% of men don't have. Now, this topic is going to sound a little strange, but I hope that as you watch this video, you try to understand my perspective and why I am sharing it. What purpose could I have in sharing this? All right, so I hope you listen and hear me out before judging what I'm about to say, but stick around because what I'm about to share is really important. So, the hidden advantage that no one talks about, that can help a man to almost double his productivity and his work ethic. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that, because genuinely when you apply this could propel you so much further and help you to push so much harder in times when you have to work hard. But it's what you call dark energy. Now, again, I know that may sound strange, but essentially what I mean by that is in life, as a man, you will go through hardship. There will be times where you may go through a breakup, you may get rejected, someone may say something about you that really just ticks you off. Maybe, there's someone in your family who passes away. Maybe there is some injustice in the world that you hear about, some crime, and it just creates this fire in your belly. And you feel this energy inside of you that you just want to do something about it. And the reason why I call it dark energy is because a lot of the times it will arise in the form of anger, of a desire for revenge, of a feeling of bitterness, of this desire for justice. The energy itself can be used to great harm. As men, it's so important to realize that you are capable of great danger. You are capable of causing harm. Now, the reason why that's important to know is so that you are aware of it and you do not be someone who causes harm. But you shouldn't suppress this reality that you are capable of causing great harm and danger. And it's only the men who actually acknowledge this that are able to recognize that and use the energy that's inside of them to push them in their goals. So everyone has this energy, right? Because in life, as I said, men will go through hardship. Men will go through times in their life where something causes their blood to boil. And it's only the men who suppress it, right? It's only the men who listen to society and say, don't be so, angry. Don't be so, maybe, in the case of a breakup, some of your friends even may say, oh bro, like just get over it, right? And that sounds mature, and you should try to get over it. But when has anyone calmed down when they're angry, when someone tells them to calm down? Right? Never. Because their nervous system is telling them to do something about it. Right? And obviously, we're not cavemen. We're not going to just do whatever our impulses tell us to do. But I think that as men, when we have this energy inside of us, we need to channel it into something productive, right? So that's why a lot of guys, you know, I know this sounds funny, but they get like rejected by a girl, and then they go to the gym and they get like what's called heartbreak gains, right? So they basically just lift harder because, you know, they're angry and stuff. Now, a lot of people will find that weird, but I'm sure if you're a young man watching this, you probably think, nah, you know what, that actually does make sense. You know, like I've been through, you know, like heartbreak, or I've been through times where I've been rejected, and, you know, like I just wanted to work harder and sort of prove her wrong or whatever. And, you know, you don't want to have this bitterness towards the person, right? So let's just say it's your girlfriend, right? And she broke up with you. You don't want to harbor any bitterness or anger or desire for revenge against her, but this energy that you feel, right? This feeling of, you know, obviously when your heart's broken, right? It's like, if you've ever been through heartbreak, it's quite potent. It's quite a strong force, right? That force, that energy is going to be inside of you regardless. And there's no amount of suppression that you can do. You know, if you've been through a heartbreak, that there's nothing you can do about it. Like, in terms of, there is nothing you can do to completely skip the process of heartbreak, right? You can either use it for something productive, or you engage in instant gratification, you just numb out the pain, right? So the point I'm trying to get across is that you are going to have this energy in you regardless. There are going to be many times in your life as a man where you will go through something that gives you this extra level of energy. And as men, we need to harness that energy and use it as motivation for something productive, as a source of fuel to help us to go forward and have this deeper level of motivation with our work or with whatever, that it's almost like this boost. So I really want to make this distinction clear, right? I'm going to use the example of a breakup again, right? Because I think that's the one that most guys relate to. There's obviously other causes, but I think this one is the one that most young guys will relate to. But you go through a heartbreak. Maybe your girlfriend, you know, she leaves you and you think it was pretty unfair, right? Maybe she just misunderstood you or spoke to you in a way that was really insulting, right? As men, I personally don't think it is bad, and hear me out when I say this, to have this thought in your mind that you want to get revenge on her and that you want to almost like be someone who essentially, like, you're going to grow and become a man, and then she will later regret leaving you, right? Now, you can have that thought in your mind, but still not have this anything against her, right? And I'm being careful with what I say here because a lot of people will misunderstand me when I say this. It's not actually about her. That's what I need you to understand. It's not about her. You're not actually trying to get revenge on her. But you use the thought of, oh, I'm gonna become better and she's gonna regret ever leaving me. Not because you actually have anything against her, not because you want her to live rent-free in your head, but because that's what's going to motivate you to work harder in your goals anyway. So you see how it's sort of, again, it can be quite controversial to say this, right? And that's why a lot of people won't share this. But as men, I don't think it's immature to use something like, a breakup or like a family member passing away or a friend who backstabs you, right? I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with having this thought purely for motivation, right? You channel this energy into something productive because this energy is going to be in you anyway. So you can use it as something to uplift you and to help you to move forward, or you can suppress it and say, oh, no, like I wouldn't want to, get revenge on my girlfriend or anything, right? And you genuinely don't, right? You don't want to do anything bad to her, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. But you could use that as fuel to something productive rather than something destructive. Okay? So I hope whoever's watching this, they can understand the nuance I'm trying to make here. You forgive whoever hurts you, right? But you can still use the energy as motivation for something productive, for something that is going to help you to make more progress in your goals. Because really, like I could argue that if you don't channel this energy, it's going to come back one day and you're going to lash out when, like something small triggers you. You're just going to lash out because you never processed your emotion. You never channeled that energy into something productive, right? You can channel this, say in the gym, you can channel it in your work, you can channel it through journaling. But I think the guys who suppress these moments of hardship, they're the ones who are more likely to lash out anyway. All right, so I know this is a bit of a controversial topic, but I'm sharing this because this is central to our nature. Every man has these seasons in their life where they go through hardship and they have this energy inside of them, but so many are afraid to acknowledge that, acknowledge the power that they have within them, and their energy gets the best of them. Whereas the guys who are able to have this awareness, realize the danger that they're capable of, and then use it for something productive, those are actually the guys who are more trustworthy and reliable, because these aren't, the guys who do that are more likely to get it out into something productive, channel that energy, and then when they are faced with the trigger that would have otherwise, been the straw in the camel's back, they're able to stay calm because they've already channeled that energy out of them, right? So this energy is going to be inside you anyway, right? Life is going to throw obstacles and you're going to have this sense of injustice, like this sense of wanting justice, right? You need, as a man, to channel that into something that's going to help you to make so much more progress in your goals. So you can see that even though this may sound like a bit of a weird message, there's actually a lot of beauty in it, right? I know I say dark energy and you may think, oh, why would I want to have dark energy in me? I've got good motives. I don't want to. You can still have a good heart, right? You can still have a heart that genuinely wants the best for someone, but still use it as motivation to become better, right? So it's not even about, the girl who rejected you or, wanting revenge on anyone. But you could still have the thought so that it can help you to channel that energy into something productive. Okay, so I know this was a bit of a controversial video, but I'm sharing this because I genuinely think that this is part of masculinity. Because when you face these seasons in your life, as men, you must have a healthy way of channeling it. And I know it may not seem healthy, but think about the actions here. The person who uses that and acknowledges this energy and uses it productive, they're doing something that helps them to move forward. Whereas the guys who say, oh, no, I would never think that, I'm such a good person. What are they really doing? They're just suppressing it and they're gonna end up using that energy for self-destruction. Okay, so I hope this message was clear. I know a lot of people will probably misinterpret what I'm saying here, but I want you to have this awareness and knowledge that you will have times where you will have this energy in you. And I hope that you'll remember this video and think, you know what? There's nothing actually wrong with just having the thought, at least just being true to who you are, honest with yourself and your emotions, and saying, yeah, you know what? Like my friend who backstabs me, and again, you want to have forgiveness towards them, right? I'm not saying that. But my friend who backstabbed me, you know what? Like I want to become someone, I want to, like become more successful, and then have them, look back and, like sort of prove them wrong, right? And again, it's got nothing to do with the friend, you see, but you still use them as motivation, right? So I hope that distinction is clear. If you like what I said, my channel is dedicated to helping young men to become men of both strength and honor. And even though this video may sound a bit strange, may seem a bit out of line with my character, honestly, because I'm someone who genuinely values integrity, who genuinely values forgiveness and all these things. But we are still human beings, and we must have the humility to recognize that even the most honorable of men, the most noble of men, they're still going to have things happen to them in their life where they have this energy and this fire in their stomach. And instead of lashing out unexpectedly because you've suppressed it for so long and you just do something that is so out of line with your character, instead we can be proactive and use this energy as fuel for growth. And sometimes you have to be honest with how you truly feel, right? Again, if this friend who backstabbed you, don't be afraid to admit it for what it is and for how you truly feel. And go and use it for something productive. Go and use it for something that will help you to propel you forward. Because if you are able to harness this skill as a man, you will make so much more progress in life. And you'll look back at the seasons of life that you went through. And instead of thinking, oh, I sort of just wasted that season of my life. Oh, I spent 3 months during a breakup just feeling sorry for myself when I was saying to myself, oh, it's not a big deal, just move on. But really, all you did was just suppress it. But if you're able to look back at that season and you're like, oh, I'm gonna work extra hard to, become a man that she regrets leaving, right? Again, nothing to do with her. But if you're able to at least acknowledge that, you will look back on that season and see just how much more progress you were able to make. And you will look back smiling, thinking, yeah, I used that productively. And you'll get to the point where you'll become indifferent to, like the energy will wear off and you won't harbor any bitterness towards it. But at least you used it and channeled it into something productive. Right, so I hope this message sticks. If you like what I said, subscribe, give this video a like, and I'll catch you in the next one.